Hey there, Fight here with a rather unusual review of the six-figure funnel formula. So you may remember that I wasn't overly excited about the pre-launch content. Well, pre-launch content number 2 was really exciting. Pre-launch content number 3 had one cool piece in there, namely on the tracking. But number 1 was kind of so-so, aimed at very beginner level. Now, uh, here comes my review then, and it's going to be an unreview in the sense of I'm not going to go through every single module, because that is what Todd is doing in his look, here's what I've got video, or the one you can look at before you make up your mind whether you want to buy it. So rather than go through each and every module, I'll give you the big picture, who it's for and who it's not for. So in my opinion, actually, let me go back a little bit. As you know, I'm born in Germany, and therefore my brain works in very twisted ways. Especially, no, not in that twisted way, in the sense of we have very bizarre ways of structuring our sentences. There's sub-sentence after sub-sentence after sub-sentence, so you can write an entire book without having a full stop ever. So that's what I'm doing here. So the step back is to Eben Pagan's video, which I sent out a couple of days ago. And if you remember, and I hope you watched that video, it is absolutely mind-blowingly good. I mean, it is essential watching for anyone who is in direct response marketing or online marketing. In there, Eben goes through a couple of examples, and towards the end of the video he says, look, here are two of my very earliest websites. And they were so incredibly simple. They're super simple. And he said, look, all we did was try this thing out, and turns out it worked. And this one got me like a 20 million a year business. It was the double your dating thing. And the other one, of course, was Get Altitude, another seriously big business. And the key thing is, he had something super simple. He did not use lead pages, and he didn't use optimized press, and he didn't use anything fancy. He didn't even use WordPress. It was plain old HTML code, very simple. And actually, to this day, I remember that particular survey he had out there. I actually looked at it and reverse engineered it. I even had someone write a script that did exactly what his thing did there. So the main insight of Eben's thing is not that he's got some magic power and he did something wonderful no one else can do, but the big difference is basically the real secret to creating a 6 or 7, or in Eben's page an 8-figure funnel, is to simply go and do it. It's a mindset thing and has nothing to do with the stuff that's being taught, and that's why I'm not going to go through endless reams of there are 12 modules here, and there are cheat sheets at the end. They're actually very cool. This one I'm going to show you, right? The cheat sheets. So there are a ton of different cheat sheets for everything, a single one. I'm not going to scroll down because otherwise I'm going to have to blur out everything. But they're really cool. Lots of examples, a lot of step by step. This is what you need to check off. But in general, success online has very little to do with the information that is provided here. It has all to do with the mindset. And in that arena, Todd's course really excels if you approach it with the right attitude. So that's actually one of the things I disagree with. I went through the videos, and right in the beginning Todd says, what I want you to do is go through the entire thing, don't do anything, and then so you understand the big picture concept, and then you come back and you start at the introduction. And I have that same philosophy. However, as this course is aimed more at people who are at a beginning stage, or who don't have an existing 6-figure business, I fear there might be a risk of overwhelm. So my advice to you is this: if you are at the stage where you go, look, I've either not tried anything, I'm new to this thing, then cool, go and get this, but don't follow Todd's advice and go through the whole thing, because it will lead to overwhelm. You just go blah, right? If you are at a stage where you've tried various things and you're going, well, I've tried all this stuff and I don't know, what plan to follow. Well, my takeaway here is this thing here, 6-figure formula, has everything you need in order to make it. Plus, it has it broken down in such a simple way that you can take each module, and each module is kind of broken down into 4 to 5 sub-modules, that you can take the information that's in there and go and implement it. And that is exactly what Eben Pagan did. And that's what basically everyone does who succeeds online. They don't go, oh my goodness, I need to understand the whole giant picture and before I can do anything else. So, my opinion is this is great if you're willing to suspend disbelief for a second and go, look, is this going to work for me? Is it going to work for my market? Is it going to work for anyone else? Does Todd have special powers? Turns out, the only special power Todd has, and I know this because I've followed his career for quite a while when he was still at Rich Schefren's. The only special power he has, and the same applies to Rich Schefren, it applies to Eben Pagan, anyone who succeeds, is you need to go and take action. And for that, the six-figure formula is great, because you go in and you take one of these micro modules, you go and implement it. And incidentally, that's exactly the same approach I've taken with graceful email marketing or email mastery. Each and every module is broken down. You've got some worksheets, or in this case you have cheat sheets. You work it off, you implement, and then you simply at some point you have to suspend disbelief, because some of the stuff you don't have the experience to make a judgment call whether this is a sensible thing to do or not to do. You just go and do it. So I really like it from that perspective. So I think it is great for anyone who is at a stage where they go, I want a complete step-by-step plan, but I don't want to have something that talks at a very high level and I need to understand the whole thing. This is for you if you want to go in, take one particular thing, go and do it, and if it's imperfect, it's imperfect. So be it. You go and implement it. And what I would suggest to you is implement the rule that came out of that wonderful interview I had with Lynn Terry, where she said, for every minute you spend learning, you need to spend 1 minute implementing. And she says, okay, in the beginning you are, when you're completely new to it, you get a special exemption. What you're going to do is go and spend 2 or 3 minutes of learning to 1 minute of implementing. But ultimately, you kind of need to hold yourself accountable. And for this, the whole layout here is very, very good. Let's just go in here for a second. What you've got is, we've got 4 lessons and a review in there. So what you do is you go into lesson number 1, which is all pretty short, 16 minutes, go implement the thing. You've got the handouts down here, you've got the cheat sheets at the end, and then you go and implement. That's it. Now, one thing I can highly recommend, the audio quality and the way Todd speaks is absolutely fabulous, meaning you can play this at triple speed and still understand what's going on. And for the triple speed thing, what I am using is, let me show you, where are you? No, it's not Kindle. I'm not using Kindle 2. I'm using this tool, okay? Express Scribe. It costs nothing, like, I don't know, $19 or something like that. There you go. Lesson number 3, module 2, lesson number 3, six-figure formula, okay? It is, well, actually, let me see if I can play this for you. Alright, if I now play this at triple speed, you'll just go, I don't understand anything. Obviously, because you haven't been tuned, listening to audio at triple speed. But you can very quickly get used to it. I'll just play an example here. Let's see, you probably go bonkers now.
Behind the scenes guerrilla stuff, so to speak. Well, then you want to design a product so it's got that underground guerrilla look and feel. You don't want to design a product that is supposed to be underground but then looks like a common book. So it needs to be congruent with the look and feel of the product as it relates to the...
Okay. Granted, if you haven't been listening to stuff at triple speed, it's probably going to be a little bit difficult, alright? But the beauty is, you scroll this to, you train your ear at 1.5 speeds, and then you go to double speed, and then you go to 2.5, and then you go to 3, okay? I can now easily, and it took me about 10 minutes of listening to Todd. So all I'm saying is the quality of the audio in here is so good, and he speaks so clearly, that it is easily possible to listen to this at triple speed. So, this whole thing brings me to, I guess, my bonus. Now, the one thing is quite funny. Todd in the beginning says, in the introduction to module number 1, he says, alright, this is the module where where it's kind of lay of the land. We talk about strategy as opposed to tactics. And people hate strategy because, they want to get their hands dirty. However, the entire concept of having your six-figure funnel is centered around the idea of having a a great hook. And incidentally, there are lovely insights in there. Something that is so obvious once you've done it for a while, but it's so not obvious when you're new to this. For example, when you create a product, you always begin with the hook in mind. Okay, you start with the hook, you start with the marketing, and then you very quickly figure out if there's demand for it, and if there's demand, yes, you create the product. And there's nothing sneaky about that. That is how you do it, because once you figure out what a great hook is, what people are totally into, then you can create, meaning totally into means they've got a serious problem there and they really want a solution for that problem. Then you can create that solution around it. It's the exact opposite of creating the better mousetrap, alright? So from that perspective, and there's lots of lovely stuff in here. Anyway, in module number 1, he talks about the hook, the importance of the hook. And of course, there are only, if you like, 4 lessons on creating the ultimate hook. And if you remember, a little while ago, I launched Graceful Email Marketing, or Email Mastery. In its previous life, it was called Email Mastery. And module number 1, which is a couple of hours of content with a ton of worksheets, is basically all about creating the hook much more, in my opinion, in depth than Todd can do here, because my course has 4 modules, his has 12. So if he had a couple of hours in every single module, well, it'll be too much content. So my bonus to you is that I will give you access to module number 1, which is all about the in-depth market research you need to do to truly understand where the pain points are, so you can create very, very specific hooks for very, very specific problems for very specific target audiences. Right? Now, currently, Graceful Email Marketing sells for $14.97, so let's call it $1,500 for ease of mathematics. And $1,500 divided by 4, because it's 4 modules, is $375. So each module in Graceful Email Marketing is $375 dollars. And I will give you free access to module number 1 if you get the 6-figure formula through my link. Alright, there you go. So, anyway, it is not for advanced marketers who are making 6 figures, forget it. This is aimed at people, and aimed in a very positive way. It specifically says we're not aiming at high-end marketers, we're aiming at people who kind of need guidance along every single step, and it's mostly really along the lines like, what the heck did Eben Pagan do when he set up this $20 million a year dating thing? Well, all he did was simply set up a very simple squeeze page and drive traffic through it. So if your question in your head is, well, I know I should be setting up a squeeze page, but why the heck am I not doing it? This is your answer. Alrighty, go, enjoy, and I'll speak to you soon. And if you've got any questions, reach out to me. Alrighty, cheers, bye.